Hello there, my Scorpio collective. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Oh my goodness, Scorpio. This has come up for you, Scorpios. Someone is holding a tarantula, but I feel like you don't like spiders, but you're kind of overcoming a fear because I keep seeing this big ass, beautiful tarantula. And you're holding it and you're kind of like cool with it. So I don't know if spider is your like spirit animal, or some of you overcoming your fear of spiders because you're not overwhelmed with it. And it's one of them like big ass fucking tarantulas. But I like that for you. It's interesting. Take what's yours, leave what the fuck isn't. I'm there with the Virgo vibes. Oh, you Scorpios. I don't know. No unnecessary risk taking right now, Scorpios. A lot of you very mindful here when it comes to your decision making as well, especially those of you that are around like water vibes. I feel like if you're doing any water sports, anything along that line, make sure you are following every fucking safety precaution that you need to, just so you're not like overwhelmed here. No unnecessary risk taking either, Scorpios. Some of you, I feel like that's more of a common sense vibe. So those of you that maybe you tend to take unnecessary risks, some of you with the dating vibes, before you like do online dating, make sure that you kind of brush up on like what you need to pay attention to, Scorpios. Do watch your favorite astrologer as well, because Scorpio, your energy is doing like some really amazing things here. I like it for you. Ace of Cups, there with the Ten of Cups. There's happiness here, but you got to make sure like you're not like taking or making any unnecessary like risks. Those of you that's traveling as well, be mindful of your complacency when it comes to like options or opportunities with you, Scorpios. I definitely feel like you need to, if you're doing something new, make sure that you're paying attention to like the safety precautions. Those of you definitely around water, make sure that you're paying attention to things. Interesting astrology for you, Scorpios, or those of you just you need to make sure that you're just being very mindful with a lot of your decision making now. So I don't know if you're doubting yourself, or some of you don't get lulled into some sort of sense of complacency, especially if this is like a new energy with you. A lot of people, when they get on vacation, common sense tends to leave the conversation. So make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself. Those of you, if you're somewhere new and you're going out dating, take your time with that. Don't overwhelm yourself. Yeah, some of you, now's not the time. Some of you maybe not partying so much. Some of you are kind of feeling this uneasiness, so trust your instincts and your intuition on that. Those of you, especially with regard to dating energy. The dating energy or the partying vibes here, Scorpios. Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, the Page of Swords. There to the Judgment vibe. Those of you all also be mindful if this the scheduling of something keeps changing with regard to options or opportunities. Some of you could be dating somebody or talking to somebody and everything is just kind of weird. Those of you, if you're on vacation, now's not the time for you to be like really making some not so smart choices. So, don't mindful of that sort of lull of complacency when it comes to you. So you might think that you're in paradise, but guess what? Paradise has tarantulas, paradise has poisonous snakes, paradise has things that you need to be mindful of. There's sharks in that water, right? Some of y'all, there's crocodiles, there's alligators and shit. Don't doubt yourself and don't doubt your instincts or your intuition here. Some of you, if you're kind of sketchy when it comes to who the fuck you date or who the fuck you meet with or who the fuck you're hooking up with, some of y'all like mindfulness of that. Especially if the plans keep changing a lot. Don't get lulled into that sort of sense of complacency there with that Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Some of you all maybe don't party so fucking much. So make sure you're able to make some smart choices here. Lord have mercy, and there's the Queen of Cups on top of that. The Tower of Vibes there with the Ace of Wands. Some of you mindful of just the party vibes. So there with that like Ace of Wands energy. So you're probably not dating to date. Some of you, this is just, you're just dating for like hookup vibes. Especially if you're like somewhere new and you're trying to, now's not the time to be taking or making any unnecessary risks. Especially with that sort of sense of complacency. So you think you're in paradise, but you know, paradise has spiders, paradise has snakes, paradise has alligators. Those of you, if you're going out partying and you're making not so smart choices, like some mindfulness energy here. Some of you, less partying. So some of you are going to be thankful you didn't get that drinks package, or some of you are going to be thankful maybe you're on antibiotics that week and you can't drink. Some of you just moderation when it comes to if you're going out. Scorpio, some of you might decide that you have to be like the person that doesn't get to have the fun time because everybody else is like a sloppy mess. Some of you could be the voice of reason as well. I don't know, if you're somewhere new, you need to make sure that you're paying attention to what the vibes are. Especially if it's just like a random hookup vibe. Two of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the inconclusive Ten of Swords. There's the Scorpio vibe. Lord have mercy. Scorpio, I feel like for some of you, your guardian angels have prevented you from making some pretty not so smart decisions. That you need to make sure that you're kind of making some smart choices here on your own. Because it's like, damn, you don't need to be taking or making any unnecessary risks. With the water energy there, if you're anywhere around water, make sure that you're paying attention. So that way you're not. Some of you, this is just like the dating vibes. So some of you, none of the sort of random hookup vibes. Those of you, if you're on vacation and you're wanting to get a little drunk and sloppy, is that really the smart choice to be making? Some of you definitely not trusting your instincts or intuition as well. So, Scorpio as well with that Ace of Pentacles there. So, you know, if you're traveling somewhere and maybe you're wearing all your flashy jewelry, maybe you got your diamonds on, or those of you, you got everything gold that you own on, you're trying to impress everybody. Some of y'all, you know, is that really the smart choice to be making? You need to make sure that you're kind of, I don't know, don't get that sense of complacency going on here. Because, damn, you're just attracting more attention than anything else. Some of you mindful when it comes to travel plans as well. Mindful if the travel plans keep changing. So maybe those of you, I don't know, I feel like you need to stay in the group. You need to make sure when you're making choices that you're making like smart choices. And at least one of you isn't acting a fool. So that way you got at least someone there that's able to remind you. Some of you, this is a reminder. Even though you might think that you're in paradise, even though you might think everything is great, don't get lulled into that sense of complacency that common sense kind of leaves the conversation when it comes to you. Especially if you're out somewhere new and you're just wanting to go for a hookup and you're just making choices that really aren't that smart. Some of you, I feel like your guardian angels have been sort of working double time because you tend to make a lot of not so smart choices here. But some of you don't, I wouldn't be tempting the gods. I wouldn't be tempting the fates. You know what I mean? Especially those of you around water. Whether that's literally you're around water, or those of you with all this sort of partying vibes, and those of you going on a lot of dates and you don't really know who the hell you're dating or what the sort of energy is. You like the sort of passionate vibe of the not knowing, but at the same time, uh, you don't need to be taking or making any unnecessary risks. Especially if there were a few instances where uh, your guardian angel or the good Lord up above was watching over you, because it's like, yeah, you were making some not so smart choices. Some of you, it's the partying vibes. Or some of you, it's the unnecessary risk taking. Some of you, it's that sense of complacency that it's like you're on vacation and you think, oh my gosh, this is paradise. But nah, there's still an underbelly to paradise, right? Paradise, you have snakes, you have alligators, crocodiles in those waters. You have those of you wearing all your gold and all your flashy jewelry, right? Mm. Mindful of your travel plans as well. I feel like some of you need to pay attention to that. Because with the Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, the Page of Swords, there with that Judgment vibe. Because really, when you start telling that story, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck were you thinking anyway? So it's kind of like no unnecessary risks. Some of you, especially with the dating vibes, if you're just hooking up with a bunch of randoms all the time, especially if you're like having fun, some of you a little too inebriated. Some of you, there could be something that happens that sobers you the fuck up pretty quick, and maybe you're not going to be drinking for a while. Or some of you may decide that you need to be the one that stays sober, because everyone starts acting like a fucking fool here. And some of you, especially if you're traveling somewhere new, don't be wearing all your flashy shit. You need to dress beautifully beige, right? Look good, but you don't need the labels. Some of you don't wear all your gold. Some of you don't be wearing all the flashy jewelry. Definitely don't be flashing your cash. Some of you, this is giving like casino vibes as well. So I don't know, if you get lucky at the casino, don't be like flashing your cash. Some of you, I feel like your guardian angels, or those of you that know that you've made some shitty choices and the good Lord up above or your guardian angel was watching over you. Some of you, now's not the time to be tempting the fates. Especially if you're just doing things more from a reckless kind of viewpoint or not from a very smart vibe. Don't get lulled into that sense of complacency. Because that right there is going to like switch things the fuck up for you. Some of you, you're either going to be scared, sober here, or some of you, you're going to have to choose to be the one that doesn't partake, or some of you, make sure you have somebody that doesn't partake, so the rest of you don't be sitting there making like some dumbass decisions. And that would be how you would describe it, or whoever the hell the one that's the designated driver here, or the designated sober one. Or those of you, when you start telling the story, people are going to be like, you did what? You were wearing all your jewelry and you did what? You hooked up with a random without knowing anything about them. So don't get lulled into that sense of complacency. I feel like this is like the astrology of something. What's your favorite astrologer here, Scorpio? Because I'm loving your vibes. But some of this is more common sense than anything else. There's a little bit of a religious vibe with you, Scorpios. So, I mean, I don't know if you're thinking about going back into religion, or some of you, you're going to church, or some of you, if you started praying more, some of you looking back, maybe you're sipping and reminiscing and thinking, holy shit, right? Now isn't the time to be really just doing a bunch of foolish decision making here. Those of you with the random hookups, those of you not paying attention, some of you maybe partying a little too much. King of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Four of Wands, there with the Knight of Swords. there with the Seven of Cups. Some of you, if you're dating, like, take a moment. You always get catfishing vibes, but the catfishing energy with you is like when they show them people that are able to just kind of reach down on the water and pull the catfish up. Or those of you, this is you, you like jump in the river, you jump in the lake, and then you have a big old fish come up and brush up against you that scares the shit out of you. It's kind of giving that vibe. So, I mean, do with that what you will. But some of you, now isn't the time for this, all this sort of fake-ass energy with you. So I don't know if you're being overwhelmed. Some of you could be being sweet-talked. Some of you, maybe you're going on too many dates and you're picking up way too many randoms and you're taking, some of you, way too many unnecessary risks. I mean, right, even if you go on a date, you really don't want to be wearing all your fucking expensive jewelry, your fancy watches and shit. So, I don't know, brush up here on common sense, and some of you just basic, I don't know, no unnecessary risk-taking. Especially those of you that you know your guardian angel here, or those of you, you know that God's kind of been watching over you. So you're either going to have a religious epiphany here, or some of you, you're going to be so drunk that you get sobered up really quick. And looking back, it's because you really were not making very smart choices. But in retrospect, and you tell the story, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck were you doing? What the fuck were you doing? So you were just hooking up with anybody, didn't know anything about them. You were wearing all your expensive jewelry. You were wearing all your expensive clothes. You had labels head to toe. If you are going out, make sure you have someone that isn't going to be partying, especially if you party with a bunch of messy people that tend to make not so smart decisions. Some of you definitely mindful of the random hookup vibes, because that's just a random hookup energy. So, you know what I mean. Those of you with the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords there with the Pisces vibe, that's like catfishing energy. But honestly, with the catfishing vibes with you, this is like when they show those people that just pick the fucking catfish up out of the water. This is also giving the energy of someone swimming around in the water and a big old fucking fish comes up and brushes up against them that scares the shit out of them. So some of this is just kind of common sense. If you're around water of any kind, make sure you're doing like water safety. So don't be jumping into water that you don't know the depth of. Don't be taking any unnecessary risks. This is like you need the proper PPE, or don't do it. Some of you with the random kind of hookup vibes as well, because when you tell that story, or those of you, when it comes to that, it's all going to kind of come down to you just really were making every wrong decision the whole fucking time. So you're not going to get so much of a sympathy here. It's kind of like, yeah, you need to wise the fuck up with something here. So that way you don't get taken advantage of. Kind of feel like that's the vibe, Scorpio, with you astrologically. Because every time your energy shows up, it's kind of like, don't be taking or making any unnecessary risks. Because there's so much unknown. A lot of the Scorpio moon vibes we got going on here. Some of this is the basic dating common sense 101. I mean, you want to look good on that date, but you also don't want to be wearing your expensive watch or expensive jewelry. Those of you wearing all your gold, right? It's like a beautifully beige energy. You can look good without having the labels. So, you know. Don't get lulled into that sense of complacency. So it's like you feel like you're in paradise, but paradise has snakes, crocodiles, alligators. Paradise has things you need to be mindful of. And those of you, I don't know if you're buying a tarantula or someone is holding a fucking tarantula, but I feel like you're overcoming a fear when you're holding this tarantula, because it is one of them big, beautiful brown tarantulas. You know, the kind they show that crawls up your arms? Not really a scary spider. It's not one of the scary spiders, but it is a big spider. But I feel like that's either your spirit animal, you're going to get one, or some of you like overcoming a fear. But someone is holding that big tarantula. But it's kind of cool because it's given that, like, oh, wow, that's so cute. It's not that scary. Or maybe you need to be mindful of that, right? I don't know my fucking spiders. So some of you, maybe no unnecessary risk taking, right? Some of you, the catfishing vibes, like if you're somewhere, it's given the energy with the catfishing vibes of those that pick the catfish up out of the fucking water. Or someone out there like swimming in the river or swimming in the lake and a big old fish brushes up against them that scares the fucking shit out of them. It's kind of like that vibe. And then with the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Cups, that's like how most people view the catfishing energy here. Alright, Scorpios. Watch your favorite astrologer, because I feel like the astrology that you bring, especially the Scorpio moon, I don't know when our next Scorpio moon is, but those of you, it's like the Scorpio moon. The water vibes, some of you, no unnecessary risk when it comes to dating, especially if you're just out there doing a bunch of hookups. Those of you that are around water, make sure that you follow the rules. So if you're getting on a boat or you're doing anything in the water, make sure you have the proper PPE or don't do it. But it's appropriate with you, Scorpio, and you being a water sign. And then we are in Cancer season as well. So there's the double water energy with you. Because some of you you're taking too many unnecessary risks here, and even if you're like a religious person, you know that God was watching over you, or those of you got your guardian angel working a little too hard because some of you are just making too many unnecessary. You're creating too many unnecessary risks for yourself because you're not really paying attention. If you're traveling, leave the gold jewelry behind. Leave your fancy jewelry behind. You can look good without everyone knowing what designer you're wearing, or you don't need to wear your money. So if you're traveling, keep the good shit at home, and maybe just travel with some of y'all. Buy you a few fakes, if anything, if you need the prestige of the name. But some of you, yeah. Those of you, if you're going to the casino and you get like don't be celebrating that big win where everyone sees it. Don't get lulled into that sense of complacency. So keep making smart choices. Especially those of you that you've kind of been making a few decisions that really, even aren't the smartest choices for you. Hey, Scorpios. I love this. This really should be melodramatic, but those of you that like to, you need a little bit more of a experience. But some of you, maybe you need to tone it the fuck down, especially with this sort of Pisces moon energy. Those of you dating, take a moment. Especially if you're doing a lot of random hookups now and you're not really paying attention. And those of you, someone is like wearing all their gold, or they're wearing like their best jewelry. And it's like, why the fuck would you do that? Especially if it's like places that you're not sure of. Anything dealing with water, definitely no unnecessary risks. Risk taking. Some of you with the cups vibe have a designated driver, or some of you be the one that isn't drunk. So that way y'all aren't really making not so smart choices. Because in retrospect, when you're telling that story, everyone's going to kind of be like, you did what? So you willingly did that? So you did what? So, no unnecessary risk-taking. Especially if this is somewhere new, something new, and some of you need far more clarity, especially if you're doing a lot of online dating. But the catfish vibe is like those that pick the catfish up out of the fucking water, or someone out there swimming in the lake, swimming in the river, and a big old catfish kind of brushes up against them that scares the shit out of them. It's kind of like that vibe. Funny, it's interesting, but you know, it's like a reminder. So, damn Scorpios, you want a song on this? You know what your song is? Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. But mindful that there's big old fish in that water too. There's catfish, there's gators, there's water moccasins in there. Whoever's getting the tarantula, or some of you, with regard to that energy, that's like a positive, but I feel like you're overcoming a fear. But some of you, that's also like a reminder not to overwhelm yourself, because it's kind of like those people that pick up like the rattlesnakes and they think it's really cool. Or those that, you know, they, most of the people bit by a rattlesnake thought it was dead, so they thought they'd killed it, but like, you know, 2 hours later, they're sitting there fucking around with it, and boom, they get a bite. So maybe no unnecessary risk taking. There must be 50 ways to leave your lover. Those of you, travel plans change with regard to dates, especially those of you that's doing a lot of random hookups, or you're like really making some shady decisions with who you date or how you're meeting your dates. I don't know if you're exploring a kink here, or some of you, you're getting really complacent with this sort of attitude here. But now isn't the time for this sort of risk-taking energy with you. Even you know you've made some not so smart choices. So you've had an experience or two where you were like, you knew God was watching over you, or some of you, your guardian angel was watching over you. But don't be tempting the fates on this. Some of you, don't go chasing waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Some of you, slow down. Some of you, no unnecessary risk. This is like you're on vacation, or you've done something plenty of times before, and you get lulled into that complacency. Ah, yeah, look at that. Somewhere over the rainbow, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. The catfishing vibes with you. I don't know if you like to fish. Some of you may find like the perfect spot for catfishing. Because the catfishing energy is like those that pick them up out of the fucking water, or someone out there swimming and a big old fish brushes up against them and scares the shit out of them. So, I mean, I like this. And those of you, just whatever the fuck the vibe is you get with catfish. So catfish, tarantulas, and some of you, all that random sort of energy. It may seem exciting, but even you know, you've had at least one or two sort of situations that even you know, you were tempting the fates a little too much. Some of you stay the fuck out of the water, or at least water safety when it comes to you. Because there's catfish, there's water moccasins, there's crocodiles, alligators, there's whatever the fuck in there. Those of you dating, you don't know what the fuck you're getting. Common Sense 101, don't be wearing all your fucking jewelry. Don't be wearing all your designer clothes. You can look good and kind of just look good, a classic look. Be mindful of your travel plans as well. So Scorpios, if you're traveling, double check your travel plans. Double check your travel plans. Bye. Good luck, God bless. Take what's yours, leave what's not. No unnecessary risk taking here. Kind of be beautifully beige. Kind of blend in. Blend in. Bye. Good luck, God bless. Peace, love, and light, Scorpio.